Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and yes, we're kind of back, but we're only doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm still doing a lot of tinkering on the channel. There's a lot of things that we're going to be changing and doing. I'm learning a lot of things, but I still wanted to make sure that I get back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and my laptop had been broken, and the only thing I've been able to do was with D last week. But we're going to continue to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews on the channel just because, like I said, it's a special thing. And I put the hashtag 7 seasons in a movie because I want more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after this. Whether we get Disney Plus movies or full-length movies. I mean, everything's probably going to end up on streaming services anyway, right, pretty soon. Or spin-offs. So hashtag 7 seasons in a movie, and a movie is what I'm starting. I don't know if anybody else has already thought of it. But that's what I'm going for. If Community can have 6 seasons in a movie, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. can have 7 in a movie. So, we are back, and boy, this is a really fun episode. This is a lot of fun. I know a lot of people were thinking about who we're going to get, who we're going to see in this special final season. It's been done for a while. There's been talk of people wanting to be on here, but I think we really need to temper our expectations because this is a show that has a, we're lucky to be here. We're really lucky to have this 7th final season. And while I think we're going to see a lot of cool things, I think, when they drop these little nuggets on us, like when they talk about Red Skull, like they did last week, these main titles that look like Plan 9 from Outer Space are awesome. Continue to do that. But I think it's still got to be in their budget. So will we see Agent Carter? There's a great chance that we'll see Peggy Carter or Haley Atwell back, but if we don't, we don't. When I heard that they were going to get Daniel Souza, played by Goran Visnjic, I was like, of course we are. He's a television actor, mostly, and a veteran of the Whedonverse. He's been in Dollhouse. He's been in some of the Marvel stuff that Whedon has done, small roles, but he's good. I like Goran Visnjic. In fact, I really liked him on Dollhouse. But we're dealing with Area 51 this week. It's, again, a lot of fun. It takes me back to, the X-Files days and Groom Lake and the mystique around that. And so our team ends up back there to find out what the chronicoms are doing. Like I said, this episode's a lot of fun. They get to play around a lot and also be very topical. Like we all know that this has been sitting in the can, and there's so many things happening in these episodes that are very, very topical to what is happening around us today. With the racial discrimination that's been, when they show the past. First we're in the 30s, we get to see the horrifying way people were back then, and now we get to see how people were in the 50s. And even, like, I know that they had to wear the gas masks in the scene with the gas masks, but everything just is so relevant. And maybe I'm making more of it than I am, but but that's good, right? If I'm seeing the problems, if we're seeing like things like that, we need to be more aware. And I'm really digging that somehow, like shows like Snowpiercer have become pretty relevant because their topics, these things were filmed. These are things that have been bubbling up and are now exploding into the streets. And I think that the fact that these shows were doing them, we're filming these episodes with this topical stuff, shows where we were headed already. And now we're in it. And we're not going to get too far or heavy into that because we are here to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but still very, very relevant. And we've got one of the greatest casts for that. We've got everybody in here. Everybody's represented, and everybody's just about. And all of our actors are so good, and this just, again, was a lot of fun. And there was some tension. It's kind of hard to make tension in a show where they're dealing with, we got to make sure that we keep the time stream straight, because we know that our heroes are going to succeed more or less, but there were still scenes of tension. But in time travel shows, when you kind of know that things kind of have to work out a certain way, there is a little bit less tension, but it's still a lot of fun to watch. I like that Mac pretty much put or what we think is, put the Daisy and Deke situation from last week right to bed. Following orders. I also like how Deke stands up to Daisy a little bit later in the episode. And I also wonder, because we were talking on the fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. that we were doing, I said that I think that, Daisy's the kind of character who would risk her own life. She would throw herself on a bomb to save everybody. But she didn't give anybody a choice. And she's still they're still writing her in that way that Freddy is the grand wizard. And that was a pretty funny joke of Hydra. And that taking him out would save countless lives. And while I don't disagree with that she's not wrong, it's just like they say, if you do that, you're just going to create probably something worse. It's like they did on Lost, where somebody kept trying to save a certain character. I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers, but they always say that the future course corrects, and however something was going to happen in another form. So it's a little naive of Daisy to be acting this way, but her heart's in the right place, and Chloe Bennett's great. Unfortunately, I was kind of watching this in a little less than ideal circumstances. The actual recording is fine, but I couldn't get this to play here while it was on live. So I had to watch it on another TV with someone else. And that person is a little bit less sensitive to things that are going on right now in the world. And this scene here where the waitress kind of tosses down the food and just kind of gives Yo-Yo and Mac a look. And the person I was watching this with was like, why did she give him that weird look? And I had to go, well, it's 1955, and he's black, and she's a Latino in the middle of Crackerville desert land. I didn't like having to explain that to someone. Also, there's in this scene, we have the segregated areas that are written on above in, Coulson, Robot Coulson, Chronicom Coulson, says, oh, well, it's the 50s, we got a ways to go. And all I could think of was, yeah, we still do. Which is definitely the way you could say, that this was filmed a year ago. I love the line that all areas are S.H.I.E.L.D., so how many other areas are there? Were these the beginnings of what would end up becoming places like that they have now, like the Triskelion? Were these like the first drafts of, let's say, of those places? Simmons pretending to be Peggy Carter was pretty funny, being the girlfriend of Captain America. I would have thought that maybe she would have a little more facial recognition, but again, it shows that women back then, and even still today, aren't looked at the same way as men are, especially white men. And so it wasn't hitting it too hard over the head, but it's all right there. And the one thing I liked is the person I was watching with did say that these cars were very authentic. The cars that they used in this were from that time period. I don't mean like the 50s in general. They were literally busting out, that's a 1955 this and a 1955 that. So their attention to detail in this episode was really spot on. So the whole big plan for the Chronicoms in this episode is that they've got this project, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s got this project called Helios. And basically it's a ion fusion reactor that the Chronicoms are going to use as a bomb to blow up all the brain trust of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then if they take that out, all the people that have the technology are gone, and then no more S.H.I.E.L.D. And this guy, the guy that they tie up, the balder guy, as soon as I saw him, I was like, that guy plays a bad guy in everything. And so when they said, oh, he's just a pencil pusher, I was like, no. The guy is never a pencil pusher. He is always an asshole. And he did not disappoint. Even when he was blubbering, I said, nope, nope, that guy is going to flip it on him, and flip it on him he does. He's a Defense Department guy who wrote the book, the field manual, on interrogation. And he's also a racist son of a bitch. And this guy, I'm sure he's a lovely actor. I'm sure he's a lovely person. He is very good at playing these kind of awful assholes. And it probably means that the more awful he plays it, it probably means the nicer he is in real life, or at least I hope he is. And I wanted to look up his name, but I forgot. There's so many fun things in here. The interrogation to try to get a chronicom, to find the chronicom in Area 51 by making them have an emotional response. It was fun. It was a little silly, but I thought it was pretty good. The word moist was used on several occasions, and I don't think anybody likes that word. I thought that was a very odd choice because he kept saying it. Daniel Souza is in this, and as soon as I saw him, I liked that the game that him and Simmons played for just a minute until she realizes that he knows who she knows who he is, and unfortunately there's commercials playing, so I'm going to pause this. Okay, I forgot, apparently it records everything on this thing. I don't like Hulu's live TV app. So that was really funny. The turtle story where he makes the old lady cry on the bus was really funny. It also made me think of Captain Marvel, how when she got onto a bus or a subway and confronted an old lady, and Clark Gregg was in that movie. That scene just kind of reminded me of it, except it had the reverse effect, where she wasn't a Skrull or a chronicom. She was just a poor street old lady who just got talked to about murdering turtles in the desert. Thought that was really, really funny. Also, stupid white privilege. Deke and everybody else trying to get this Defense Department guy to break. He says horrible things to Yo-Yo. He says horrible things to Mac. And then even May goes in there. We don't see what happens when May goes in, but we know what happens when she comes out. And so they have no other choice but to send Deke in, very frustratingly, because of all of this. And what I do like is that the guy is such a son of a bitch that it doesn't fool him either. He actually thinks that Deke is a communist, which I thought was pretty funny. Bringing the title around to Alien Commies from the Future, great title for the episode. And there was a question I had, and they're going to answer it next week, which was, if Daniel knew or had a hunch that there were infiltrators, why didn't it, how did it all happen? And what we see in the trailer for next week is that Souza died trying to protect, stop this, and he was killed. If that was an Agent Carter, I feel really bad because I didn't finish Agent Carter, or this is actually, I don't remember if I finished it. Those were my heavy drinking days. I plan on going back and rewatching Agent Carter one of these days. But, because I always thought that it was going to be, before Avengers Endgame, I thought it was going to be Souza and Carter that were a couple. But it turns out that's not the case. So, we might not see Agent Carter, because if she's hanging out with Steve Rogers already, right, then why would she show up? Unless we get Chris Evans too. But again, if we're not getting Hugo Weaving, we're probably not getting Chris Evans either. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe cut in scenes, little bits from certain movies where that character is. And then we get to the end of this movie, or this episode, with the pretty intense fight sequence that's going on in several locations, where we have May, who has a panic attack when they drop the tear gas or the smoke into the room with the scientists. It was the first time she started acting like herself. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Maybe she's just got real major PTSD from going to another dimension, dying and coming back. And Yo-Yo. We still don't know what's going on with her, but it almost feels like it's the yips. Could it be the arms? I don't know. But she couldn't stop the chronicom from running away. It's going to be explained, and holy crap, a bug just flew in my face. It's never a dull moment here at Smirking Gun Reviews. But during this fight scene where you have, Coulson taking on the robot, that was pretty great. And it was pretty intense, and I started making this face. I don't know why, but I was going like, during the whole thing. I was like, ugh. But fortunately, the EMP goes off that Daisy and Simmons sets up, and not only is the chronicom taken out, but so is Coulson. And at the very end of the episode, there's a problem with his eye. Now, will that be a malfunction that causes him to become a chronicom? I don't know. We will have to wait and see in the coming weeks. And then the crazy man, where they lock up, they make the guy think that he's seeing flying saucers and he'll be probed, and they make him look like an ass in front of the racist restaurant. Pretty damn good episode. I am not going as deep a dive into this as I usually do, but this was a lot of fun, and I'm probably holding back a little bit so that I have more to talk about this week on the Fans of S.H.I.E.L.D. show that I do with Darren Jakes and Don Willie on Fridays at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. That would be 7 o'clock Pacific and 10 o'clock Eastern. So don't forget to check out Dee's Reviews with Darren Jakes every Friday night. We're going to be doing a group thing there. I do think that these are kind of like two parts that they're going to continue to do. It feels like it. So next week they're going to try to save Souza. But if they save Souza, if they try to break the rules here, it will change things again. And since we're not completely clear on whether this is in the actual 616 Marvel universe, well, the MCU extended, universe, we'll have to wait and see how they're going to handle that. But I almost feel like if they're going to do these two-part things, I almost wanted to wait, but where's the fun in that? So I want to say, and since I haven't made a video in a while, I apologize if this is a little less than what I used to be able to do, or maybe they always sucked. Who knows? But thanks for watching. We're going to be back next week with episode 4 of season 7, where we tackle how do we save Daniel Souza, and can we save Daniel Souza? So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. If you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications if you feel like it. Have a great day. Be safe out there, everyone. Let's keep these protests going so that we can still make change in this country for everybody. And Black Lives Matter, man. Just as much as anybody else's. Have a great night, and we'll see you later.